We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. What if I told you that understanding the real challenges women face, not just what society tells you, could transform your relationships forever? Imagine navigating every conversation, every disagreement, and every moment of connection with clarity and compassion. That's the power of Stoic wisdom applied to modern love. In this video, we're diving deep into the top 10 weaknesses every man should understand about women. But don't be mistaken, these aren't about blaming or criticizing. Instead, they're about gaining insight, empathy, and practical knowledge to build stronger, more meaningful bonds. By the end of this video, you'll unlock timeless Stoic strategies that not only help you see women from a new perspective, but also improve your emotional intelligence and communication skills. Stick around till the very end, because that's where the true wisdom lies, the kind that turns challenges into opportunities and misunderstandings into connection. Ready to elevate your relationships with Stoic clarity? Let's get started. Number 1. Emotional complexity. Understanding emotional complexity is one of those things that can truly shift how you relate to women. And honestly, it's one of the most valuable insights you can develop if you want to build stronger, more genuine connections. You see, women often experience and express emotions in ways that don't fit neatly into simple categories. It's not about being complicated just for the sake of it. There's a depth there that deserves your attention and respect. When you begin to grasp that emotions aren't just straightforward signals but a rich, swirling mix, you start to appreciate why patience and presence matter so much. Once said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. This reminds you that your reaction to emotional complexity is your choice, and that awareness alone gives you the power to respond differently. You might be tempted to solve, fix, or dismiss feelings that don't seem logical or clear, maybe even feel frustrated because it seems like an emotional maze you can't navigate. But here's the thing, trying to simplify or control those emotions only pushes you further away from real understanding. Instead, lean into the discomfort. Observe the layers of feelings, the shifts, and even the contradictions without rushing to judgment. This is where your practice of Stoic mindfulness comes in. Acknowledge emotions without being overwhelmed by them. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be steady, calm, and willing to hold space. Try this exercise. Next time you sense emotional turbulence, pause for a moment and breathe deeply. Remind yourself that beneath the surface, there's a complex human experience unfolding. Repeat silently to yourself, I accept this moment as it is. Don't rush to fix or explain. Just listen. Notice how this small shift, this choice to accept rather than react, creates room for connection. It's a powerful habit that builds empathy and dissolves unnecessary conflict. Remember, women are often navigating emotional currents shaped by past experiences, present pressures, and sometimes unspoken needs. That's a lot happening beneath the surface. Your role isn't to decode or control, but to be a steady presence. Seneca put it well, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Think of emotional complexity as a kind of challenge, an opportunity to grow your emotional resilience and wisdom. Every time you stay calm and attentive in these moments, you're training yourself to become the kind of man who truly understands, not just hears. So commit to practicing this. When feelings feel tangled, don't retreat. Lean in with patience. Ask open, gentle questions and listen, not just to respond but to truly understand. Build your emotional vocabulary by naming what you see and feel, and don't be afraid to express your own emotions honestly. That vulnerability encourages trust and deepens the bond. This isn't about changing who you are or being someone else. It's about expanding your capacity to hold more in your emotional world without losing your center. That balance is the heart of Stoic strength. You'll find that the more you practice acceptance and calm observation, the more natural it becomes to navigate emotional complexity. The result? You don't just attract women, you become someone who creates safe, meaningful, and lasting connections. Start today. The more you embrace emotional complexity, the more you embody the Stoic ideal of mastering yourself and your relationships. You've got this. Number 2, need for validation. You know, one of the deepest, most common needs many women have, whether they admit it or not, is the need for validation. Now, before you jump to conclusions or think this sounds like a hear me out, this isn't about weakness or insecurity in a negative sense. It's about something very human. Everyone wants to feel seen, heard, and valued. Women, in particular, often crave reassurance, not because they lack confidence, but because connection is woven into their nature. Think about the Stoic idea from who said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." What this means for you is that your words and actions can shape her perspective of herself, and that has power. When you offer genuine validation, you're not just saying nice things, you're giving her a mirror that reflects her worth, strength, and beauty. It's a practice that demands patience, presence, and honesty. Now, this isn't an invitation to feed into neediness or dependency. Instead, it's a call to step up as a man who understands that validation isn't just about flattery, it's about connection and authenticity. You're not trying to fix or change her. You're simply acknowledging her experience, her emotions, and her value. This kind of validation fosters trust and creates a space where both of you can be real without fear of judgment. It's like the Stoics teach us. Focus on what you can control, your response, your attention, your respect, and release the need to control how she feels. You're not responsible for her happiness, but you are responsible for the energy you bring into the relationship. Here's the thing, if you want to build stronger bonds, start by observing. Listen without interrupting, notice the small things she values, and respond with honest appreciation. When she shares something, don't just wait for your turn to speak. Instead, reflect back what you heard. "I see how important this is to you. That must have taken courage." These simple phrases are powerful validation in action. They show you're present, that you care, and that her feelings matter. This isn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's about consistent, meaningful moments that build a foundation of trust. Try this exercise. Next time she expresses something, whether joy, frustration, or fear, pause for a beat. Before jumping in with advice or opinions, offer her your full attention. Validate what she's feeling without judgment or rushing to fix it. Over time, this habit will transform the dynamic between you. You'll notice how openness grows, how walls come down, and how deeper understanding takes root. You'll find yourself becoming more patient, more empathetic, and yes, more attractive in ways that go far beyond appearances or charm. Remember, the Stoics remind us that true strength lies in control over oneself, not over others. Your power as a man isn't in domination, but in understanding, patience, and the willingness to meet her where she is. Validation is a tool, not to manipulate, but to connect. So, take this insight and practice it daily. Watch how it shifts your relationships, your confidence, and your sense of peace. Because when you learn to honor the human need for validation, not as a weakness, but as a doorway to connection, you step closer to the kind of love and respect every man deserves. Number 3, sensitivity to tone. You need to truly grasp this. Women can be incredibly sensitive to tone. It's not about just what you say, but how you say it. Every word carries a vibration, an emotional color that either builds connection or creates distance. You might think you're being straightforward or even casual, but the way your voice rises, falls, hesitates, or sharpens can trigger feelings in ways your words never intended. Stoics understood the power of perception. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This applies to communication just as much. Your tone is the emotional filter through which your message is received, and if it's off, even the most sincere words can sound cold, judgmental, or dismissive. If you want to build stronger, more meaningful relationships, you have to start paying attention to this subtle but crucial detail. Imagine shifting from conversations that feel tense or uncertain to ones that radiate calm, respect, and understanding. This isn't about walking on eggshells. It's about mastering your emotional delivery so your words carry warmth and authenticity. It's about tuning in, not just speaking but truly listening with your voice. That's where the magic happens. Here's the thing. This sensitivity to tone is often subconscious. Women pick up on nuances without even realizing it, so your job is to be intentional. Practice slowing down your speech. Notice how your voice sounds when you're relaxed versus when you're stressed or annoyed. Make a habit of breathing before responding, grounding yourself so your tone matches the message you want to send. It's a simple exercise with massive impact. Reminded us, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." This isn't cynicism. It's preparation to maintain your own calm center amid external chaos. When you can keep your tone steady and composed even when faced with tension, you demonstrate emotional strength and invite openness, not conflict. So what does this look like in practice? Start small. Next time you're in a conversation, pay attention to how your tone affects the flow. If you catch yourself sounding sharp or rushed, pause, breathe, reset. Then, try speaking again with calmness and warmth. Over time, this awareness will become second nature. You'll notice how women respond differently, not because you changed your words, but because you changed your presence. This is not about perfection, it's about progress. Every time you make a conscious choice to soften your tone, to align your emotional energy with your words, you're building a new habit that strengthens connection. Remember, the Stoics didn't promise easy, but they promised control over what truly matters, yourself. Master your tone and you master the doorway to deeper relationships. It's time to listen not just with your ears, but with your heart and voice. Try it. Watch what happens. Number 4, desire for security. When you really pause to think about it, the desire for security runs deep in everyone, but especially in women when it comes to relationships. It's not just about money or a fancy house. Security means so much more. It's about feeling safe emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's the quiet comfort that comes from knowing someone will be there for you, come what may. Now, this isn't a weakness to mock or dismiss. It's a fundamental human need. You might feel the urge to challenge this, maybe thinking, isn't security just a crutch? Shouldn't we all be more independent? But listen closely. Understanding this desire isn't about giving in or playing the protector like some hero. It's about recognizing what truly matters beneath the surface. Once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That strength, the real strength, is in your ability to provide that sense of security, not by controlling her world, but by mastering yourself. When you are steady, calm, and consistent, you naturally create a safe space. That's magnetic. You don't have to shout or prove your worth. Your reliability and emotional resilience speak volumes. So here's the challenge for you. Start by mastering your inner world. Practice being the calm in the chaos. When uncertainty hits, don't react impulsively. Instead, breathe, ground yourself, and respond with wisdom. This is your real power move. When you demonstrate that kind of stability, you answer a deep call within her that words alone can't reach. Try this exercise. Next time you feel rattled or insecure about anything, work stress, social pressure, or even doubts in your relationship, pause. Ask yourself, what can I control right now? Focus on your breath, your actions, your mindset. Every time you choose to stay steady, you build that invisible fortress of security that she'll sense and rely on. It's easy to think security is about grand gestures or promises, but it's actually found in the small, consistent moments. The daily habit of showing up as your best self, being emotionally available without losing your center, that's where the magic happens. This is not weakness or neediness. It's a powerful foundation that attracts trust and deeper connection. Remember, the Stoics teach us to prepare our minds for life's uncertainties. By doing so, you not only secure yourself, but you also become a source of calm and strength for those around you. And in that, you fulfill a profound role in any relationship. So take this to heart. The desire for security isn't just her weakness to understand. It's your opportunity to lead with integrity, patience, and steady presence. When you do that, you don't just attract her. You inspire lasting respect and genuine love. Number 5, indirect communication. When it comes to communication, one of the things you must understand deeply is how indirect it can sometimes be, especially from the women in your life. It's not a trick or a game, nor is it about being mysterious on purpose. It's simply that sometimes women express things in ways that aren't straight-up statements or clear demands. You might hear a hint, a soft sigh, or see a fleeting glance, and those are often the real messages beneath the surface. This indirect style can be confusing if you're used to blunt, straightforward exchanges. But here's the thing. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience and perception. Reminds us, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth. So, your first step isn't to judge or get frustrated. It's to open yourself up to listening deeper, beyond the words themselves. You have the power to train your mind to notice these subtleties, to become attuned to what's left unsaid. When you sharpen your awareness, you're not just hearing words, you're understanding feelings and needs. This doesn't mean you become a mind reader. It means you develop empathy and patience, virtues that Stoics hold dear. Next time she says something that sounds like a casual comment but leaves a weight behind it, don't brush it off. Instead, pause, consider what emotions might be wrapped in those words. Ask yourself, what is really being communicated here? You're invited to explore the nuance. Think about this like a muscle you need to build. Start small by observing moments in your day-to-day interactions where communication feels layered or indirect. Don't rush to conclusions or try to solve things immediately. Instead, practice reflecting back what you sense. You could say something simple like, "It sounds like you're feeling a bit overwhelmed," even if she hasn't said it outright. That kind of acknowledgement can open doors to honest conversations. It shows you care enough to understand what's behind the veil of words, and that builds trust. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting everything spelled out clearly, because clarity feels safe, comfortable, and predictable. But real connection, the kind that lasts and deepens, often lives in those spaces between the lines. That's where vulnerability thrives, and where emotional truth is shared softly. As Seneca advised, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Don't let your mind jump to worst-case interpretations when faced with indirect communication. Instead, cultivate calm curiosity. Ask questions with kindness. Listen with your whole being. This is the practice of emotional wisdom. You're encouraged to shift from frustration or confusion to curiosity and openness. This mindset will change how you experience relationships, especially with women who may express their feelings differently than you do. This is not a weakness on their part. It's simply a different way of being that deserves your respect and patience. Your job is to meet that style with your own strength, your ability to be present, attentive, and understanding without rushing to fix or judge. Here's a simple exercise to try. The next time you feel confused by what's said or unsaid, take a deep breath and silently ask yourself, what deeper need or feeling might be here? Don't seek to answer immediately. Let your mind sit with the question. Then, when the moment feels right, gently invite more clarity, but without pressure. This practice is about learning to dance with the rhythm of indirect communication rather than forcing a quick resolution. In the end, mastering this subtle art brings you closer to the Stoic ideal, inner calm paired with clear, compassionate action. You'll find that when you approach relationships with this awareness, you're not just reacting, you're responding. You become the steady presence that understands even what isn't spoken, and that is the foundation for true connection. So, take this insight and make it your practice. Be patient, be curious, be strong. Because in embracing the indirect, you unlock a new dimension of understanding that can transform your relationships and your life. Number 6. Preference for empathy over solutions. Understanding the way women prefer empathy over solutions is a subtle but powerful key to deepening your relationships. Too often, you might find yourself jumping straight into problem-solving mode, ready to fix, advise, or offer a practical way out. That instinct isn't wrong. It comes from a place of wanting to help, to be useful. But here's the twist. What many women truly seek isn't a fix, but a feeling of being genuinely heard and understood. Said, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant. It's a reminder that patience and presence are virtues you cultivate to navigate human nature, including the emotional nuances women bring into your life. You see, when she opens up about her frustrations, her worries, or her day's troubles, she's inviting you into her world. Not because she needs a step-by-step solution, but because she wants your presence, your emotional resonance. Imagine that for a moment. The weight of her words isn't just in the content, but in the emotional current beneath them. If you respond too quickly with advice, it can feel like you're bypassing that connection, unintentionally shutting down what she's really offering: vulnerability and trust. This is where your power lies, in holding space for her feelings without rushing to change them. Try this. Next time she shares something troubling, resist the urge to fix it. Instead, listen deeply. Nod, acknowledge, or simply say, "That sounds really tough." Watch how this simple act transforms your connection. You're not solving a problem, you're honoring an experience. Stoicism teaches that we control our responses, not external events. Apply this now. Control your impulse to fix and choose, instead to empathize. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You're wired to want to be the hero, the one who makes things right. But remember, true strength is shown in your ability to be patient, to listen without judgment, and to accept emotions as they are. Empathy is not weakness. It's a powerful force that builds trust and intimacy. You're showing her that her feelings matter more than any quick fix you might offer. To make this shift habitual, practice mindfulness in your conversations. When she talks, focus entirely on her, not on how you will respond or what you want to say next. This presence is a gift. Reflect inwardly on your reactions and remind yourself of Seneca's wisdom. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Your anxiety about not fixing things is often just that, an imagined pressure. Release it. Allow the moment to be just what it is. This change in approach will ripple beyond your relationship with her. It will refine your interactions in general, teaching you patience, attentiveness, and emotional clarity. When you consistently choose empathy over immediate solutions, you step into a higher level of understanding. You become the man who doesn't just hear words, but truly listens to the heart behind them. And that, ultimately, is the foundation of lasting connection. So challenge yourself. The next time she shares, pause, resist the fix. Instead, embody the Stoic ideal. Be steady, present, and compassionate. That's the kind of strength every woman recognizes and respects. Make empathy your tool, your habit, your secret power. You'll not only understand her better, but grow in your own mastery of human connection. Number 7. Difficulty expressing true feelings. When it comes to understanding women, one thing you must deeply grasp is this. Many women struggle with expressing their true feelings. It's not a sign of weakness or manipulation. It's often a natural defense, a hesitation born from vulnerability, fear of judgment, or simply the way they've been conditioned to protect themselves emotionally. You might find yourself puzzled or frustrated because she doesn't always say what she means or hides behind silence when emotions get too intense. But here's the truth you need to embrace. Patience and empathy become your greatest allies here. Said, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. What you hear from her might just be a part of the whole, not the entire truth. It's your task to listen not just with your ears, but with your presence, your calm, and your understanding. You have to stop expecting clear-cut emotional honesty on demand. Instead, shift your mindset. See her emotional hesitations as invitations to build trust, not walls to break through. When she holds back, don't push harder, hold steady. Your calm steadiness teaches her safety. You become the rock she can rely on, the one who honors her pace without judgment. This isn't easy. It demands you grow in patience and restraint, qualities the Stoics treasure. After all, Seneca reminds us, he who is brave is free. Your bravery is in your willingness to accept the ambiguity and the silence, to stand firm even when things feel uncertain. Now take a moment to reflect on how you respond when she's quiet or vague. Do you get frustrated? Do you try to fill the silence with assumptions or pressure her to open up? This only pushes her further away. Instead, practice being present without expectation. When she speaks, truly listen. When she's silent, don't rush to fill the space. Try this simple exercise. Next time she shares even a small feeling, repeat it back to her softly without judgment or solution. Just reflect. This shows you're tuned in, without forcing her to say more than she's ready to. Over time, this builds an unshakable foundation of trust. You also need to manage your own emotions. The Stoics teach us that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. So, when you feel anxious or uncertain about her emotions, remind yourself it's your interpretation causing the disturbance. Train yourself to step back and observe your feelings without reacting. Practice breathing deeply when tension rises. This creates emotional space where clarity can grow. Ultimately, understanding this weakness, difficulty in expressing true feelings, is a gift, not a problem. It's a chance for you to become more patient, more empathetic, and more self-controlled. It's an opportunity to show that you value her beyond words, beyond surface emotions. When you can hold steady in this space, you don't just improve your relationship, you evolve yourself. The power to transform your connection lies in your hands. Embrace the challenge. Be the calm in her storm. You'll find that, over time, those walls come down not because you forced them, but because you showed the strength to wait and the wisdom to listen. Number 8. Tendency to remember emotional details. There's something deeply human about the way emotions stick in our minds, but here's the thing you need to understand about women. They tend to remember emotional details in a way that's intense and vivid. It's not just about the facts or what was said, but how it made them feel. The subtle tones, the unspoken gestures, the fleeting expressions. This isn't about being petty or holding grudges. It's a natural wiring, a heightened sensitivity to emotional context that shapes how they perceive relationships and trust. When you grasp this, it changes the way you engage. You start to realize that every interaction, even the small ones, carry weight beyond the surface. A careless word or a distracted moment isn't just forgotten. It's stored, remembered, and referenced internally. Once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. This applies here in a powerful way. What she remembers emotionally colors her view of you, your bond, and even her sense of security. So when you're navigating conversations or conflicts, don't rush to dismiss her feelings or expect her to just get over it. Instead, be present, listen deeply, and show that you value those emotional memories, not by minimizing them, but by honoring them. You might be tempted to think, shouldn't we just move on and not dwell on the past? Here, where your Stoic practice kicks in, you can control your reactions and how you respond, but you cannot erase someone else's emotional imprint. What you can do is foster an environment where those memories become sources of growth, not resentment. Practice patience and understanding. When a sensitive topic arises, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, how can I acknowledge her feelings and respond with calmness rather than defensiveness? This awareness isn't just a relationship hack, it's a path to deeper empathy and connection. You begin to see that emotional memories aren't weaknesses, they're signals, guiding you toward what matters most to her. That's why you must adopt habits that cultivate emotional intelligence. Start small. Make it a habit to ask how she felt about something and really listen without preparing your reply. Reflect on your own emotional responses, too. The Stoics remind us that mastering ourselves helps us master our relationships. Remember, the goal isn't to become a mind reader or to anticipate every emotional nuance perfectly. It's about respecting the emotional layers she holds onto and responding with steady, grounded presence. This shifts your relationship from reactive cycles to thoughtful understanding. So next time a past emotional detail comes up, don't dismiss it. Lean into it with patience and curiosity. This practice will transform not just how she sees you, but how you grow as a man, stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the subtle forces that shape human connection. Embrace this truth. Emotions color memory, and memory shapes trust. Let this knowledge inspire you to act with greater care and clarity. The more you honor the emotional details she remembers, the more you build a foundation of respect that withstands time and trials. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Take this to heart and watch how your relationships deepen with every thoughtful, intentional step you take. Number 9, need for consistent attention. You ever notice how women often seem to need your attention more consistently than you might expect? It's not about being needy or clingy, far from it. It's more like a quiet, constant undercurrent that shapes how she feels valued and connected to you. The truth is, consistent attention isn't just a luxury for her, it's a fundamental emotional need. When you understand this, it shifts everything. You see, Stoicism teaches us to recognize what's within our control and what is. You can't control her feelings, but you can control how you show up for her. That's where your power lies. Imagine the impact you create when you choose, deliberately and consistently, to give her your attention. Not just the distracted half glance while scrolling on your phone, but real, focused presence. This doesn't mean you have to be available 24/7 or lose yourself in the process. It means you recognize attention as a kind of currency, a gift that says, "You matter to me." This is how trust and closeness grow. The Stoics remind us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So start by deciding to be the man who honors this need, then act on it. Here's the catch. Attention isn't just about grand gestures or dramatic displays. It's in the little things. A timely message to check in, a genuine question about her day, a moment where you truly listen instead of waiting to talk. Those are the moments that build her feeling of security and importance. The danger: neglecting this need breeds doubt and distance, the exact opposite of what you want. You might think, but I'm busy, I have my own life. That's exactly why this matters. Life will always throw distractions your way. The challenge and the growth lies in choosing what deserves your energy. Said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Let your thoughts about your relationship be intentional. See attention as a practice, not a chore. Try this. Today, commit to one small act of deliberate attention. Maybe it's a focused 5 minutes of conversation without checking your phone. Maybe it's remembering something she said and bringing it up later. This isn't about perfection, but about presence. Over time, these small habits compound. You become the man who doesn't just hear her but truly listens, who doesn't just see her but genuinely notices. And remember, attention given freely and consistently is an expression of your own discipline and care, a reflection of your character. It's a way to embody the Stoic ideal of being present and purposeful in every interaction. So step into that role with confidence. Make attention your tool, your strength, your way to build connection. You'll find that when you do, she responds with a depth of trust and affection that words alone can't capture. This is more than just a weakness to understand. It's a doorway to stronger, more meaningful relationships. You have the power to walk through it. Take the step today. Number 10, influence of past experiences. When it comes to understanding women, one of the most important things you must grasp is how deeply their past experiences shape their present. These experiences, whether joyful or painful, act like invisible threads woven into the fabric of who they are. You might not see these threads, but they pull, twist, and guide their reactions, choices, and feelings. Recognizing this isn't about overanalyzing or trying to solve every little thing. It's about seeing clearly, like the Stoics teach us, that everyone carries history, and that history quietly influences behavior. Think about this. Every time you notice hesitation or a sudden shift in mood or a wall going up, it might not be about you at all. It could be echoes of something that happened long before you entered the picture. This awareness shifts your perspective. Instead of frustration, you develop patience. Instead of judgment, you cultivate empathy. Reminded himself to accept that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Here, the past is not a barrier to love or connection, but a path to deeper understanding. Now you have a choice. You can let past experiences become an excuse for distance, or you can see them as clues, keys to unlocking trust and genuine intimacy. When you adopt this mindset, your relationships stop being about trying to fix or change someone. Instead, they become about walking alongside them with respect and calm confidence. The real power lies in your response, in your ability to stay grounded and steady no matter what old wounds or fears might surface. You must practice this daily. When a reaction puzzles you, pause. Don't rush to respond or retreat. Ask yourself, what might lie beneath this? What past might be shaping this moment? This small act of reflection changes everything. You move from being reactive to being wise and thoughtful. The Stoics weren't perfect, but their strength was in their discipline of self-awareness. You can build that muscle too. Try this. Next time you feel a challenge or misunderstanding with a woman you care about, take a breath and imagine her history. Imagine the struggles, the moments that shaped her, the fears she may carry silently. It's not about sympathy, but about real connection, seeing her as a complex person, not just through the lens of your expectations. This shift doesn't just deepen your bond, it frees you. You stop taking things personally. You stop feeling powerless. Remember, weakness in this context isn't about fault or failure. It's about the human condition. Every one of us is shaped by our past. When you accept that truth and let it guide your patience and compassion, you create space for growth, both hers and yours. You become the steady presence that allows wounds to heal, trust to grow, and love to flourish. So I challenge you, start paying attention to these hidden influences. Make it your mission to understand, not to judge. Let the wisdom of the Stoics inspire you to embrace this path. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you master your reaction to her past, you unlock a profound strength, a strength that builds deeper, more meaningful relationships. You have the power to change how your relationships unfold. It begins with recognizing the weight of past experiences and responding with calm, steady care. Take that step today. Your connection depends on it. Thanks for watching. Remember, understanding these subtle truths isn't about labeling or limiting anyone, it's about building stronger, more authentic connections. If you found value in this Stoic wisdom, hit that like button, subscribe for more insights, and share your thoughts down below. What surprised you the most? Let's keep the conversation going and grow together. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay patient, and keep strengthening those relationships.